subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
मोज़िज़ तलबा व तालिबात, सर अब्दुल सत्तार खान इस यूट्यूब चैनल में आप तमाम का इस्तकबाल है। 10th इंग्लिश गेस्ट पेपर क्वेश्चन आंसर पार्ट 2 है। टेक्सचुअल सीन पैसेजेस है 2022 के लिए। चलिए इम्कानी सवालात देखते हैं, पैसेजेस पढ़ते हैं और उसे समझ के सवालात के जवाब ढूंढते हैं। पहला सवाल है, रीड द फॉलोइंग पैसेज एंड डू द एक्टिविटीज़। सिंपल फैक्चुअल एक्टिविटीज़ है। स्टेट वेदर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू और फॉल्स, यानी दिए गए जुमले सही हैं या गलत लिखना है। यहाँ पर जुमलों के साथ ही जवाब भी दिया गया है। द बुक इज़ फिल्ड विथ हेवी ग्रामर एंड डिफ़िकल्ट टेक्निकल वर्ड्स, इट इज़ फॉल्स। द बुक सर्कल्स अराउंड द मिसचीफ ऑफ द किड्स इन अ व्यू ऑफ द किड, ट्रू। आर के नारायण स्वामी एंड फ्रेंड्स इज़ अ गुड रीड फॉर द किड्स एंड teens alike, true. Mischievous kids are not as sensitive as other people, false. Significance of the book. Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan is not merely an interesting read that could be enjoyed from top to bottom, but the work attributes a lot of literary values even if it is a teen book. Swami and Friends is a good read for the kids and teens alike. Also, the book is widely used in the Asian continent as a study text for the students who study literature as a subject at schools. This does not mean that the book is filled with heavy grammar and technical jargon. Actually, the truth is on contrary to this. Swami and Friends is written in such simple English it is hard to imagine that it is a work of such a literary genius like R.K. Narayan. The English used in the book is both plain, simple, without any troubling words for the kids. Also, the use of simple and short sentences adds to the simplicity of the book. It is mentioned in the description that the book is about a mischievous 10-year-old Indian boy, and some parents may be concerned about the influence this will have on their already mischievous children. But the book is as such that it encompasses the mischief of the kids in a view of the kid which is harmless and pure in his perspective. Also, amidst all the mischief and naughtiness, we actually find that Swami is a loving and a tender kid who is actually very sensitive. It is also a known fact that mischievous kids are the most sensitive and loving people of all, and R.K. Narayan does a great job conveying that to all of us. A2 complex factual activities. Complete the web. R.K. Narayan's style and language described in the review. The book has no heavy grammar or difficult words. It has great literary values. English used in the book is both simple and plain and simple without troubling words. The simple and short sentences used by the author adds to the simplicity of the book. इसमें जो अंडरलाइन वर्ड्स है वो उसके जवाबात हैं और बाकी का वेब खाका जैसा का वैसा है। A3 activities based on the vocabulary. Find the following from the passage. Noun forms of simple, describe, naughty. Verb forms of meaning, imagination, loving. Adjective forms of interest, technique, purity. Simple, simplicity, describe, description, naughty, naughtiness. Meaning, mean, imagination, imagine, loving, love. Interest, interesting, technique, technical, purity, pure. A for activity है do as directed. The use of simple and short sentences adds to the simplicity of the book. Rewrite the sentence using not only but also. The use of not only simple but also short sentences adds to the simplicity of the book. It is also known fact dash. Complete the sentence by adding one more clause. It is also known fact that small children yield to temptations. A5 activity है personal response. What difference do you find between the children of Swami's days and today's children? यानी आज के और स्वामी के दिन के, स्वामी के वक्त के बच्चों के दरमियान आप क्या फ़र्क पाएंगे? इसका आंसर है आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज़ एनी peculiar difference between the children of Swami's days and today's children. Children all over the world and of all the times are the same. The only difference between them, according to me, is that Many of today's children keep themselves busy in mobiles, other gadgets, and mobile games instead of playing in open space. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है सिंपल फैक्चुअल एक्टिविटीज़ है नेम द फॉलोइंग द कंट्री वेयर माउंट हुआंगशान इज सिचुएटेड इन dash the famous dam in Egypt on river Nile dash the international world heritage program is administered by dash the Nile Valley contains many ancient dash artifacts इसके आंसर से पहले का आंसर है चाइना दूसरे का आंसर है असवान हाई डैम थ्री द यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज कमिटी फोर्थ इजिप्शियन A World Heritage Site is a site determined by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO to have significant cultural or natural importance to humanity. As such, the sites are protected and maintained by the International World Heritage Program, which is administered by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee. Because World Heritage Sites are places that are significant culturally and naturally, they vary in type and include forests, lakes, monuments, buildings, and cities. World Heritage Sites can also be a combination of both cultural and natural areas. For example, Mount Huangshan in China is a site with significance to human culture because it played a role in historical Chinese art and literature. The mountain is also significant because of its physical landscape characteristics. History of World Heritage Sites. Although the idea of protecting cultural and natural heritage sites around the world began in the early 20th century, momentum for its actual creation was not until the 1950s. In 1954, Egypt started plans to build the Aswan High Dam to collect and control water from the Nile River. The initial plan for the dam's construction would have flooded the valley containing the Abu Simbel temples and scores of ancient Egyptian artifacts. To protect the temples and the artifacts, UNESCO launched an international campaign in 1959 that called for the dismantling and movement of the temples to higher ground. The project cost an estimated US $80 billion to $40 million, of which came from 50 different countries. Because of the project's success, UNESCO and the International Council on Monuments and Sites initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. ए टू एक्टिविटी है कॉम्प्लेक्स फैक्चुअल एक्टिविटीज़ कंप्लीट द वेब इसके आंसर्स डायरेक्ट दिए हुए हैं द सिग्निफिकेंट एस्पेक्ट्स रिक्वायर्ड फॉर अ वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट इसका क्वेश्चन है इट शुड हैव कल्चरल आंसर है इसका और नेचुरल इम्पोर्टेंस टू ह्यूमैनिटी सेकेंड है द प्लेसेस शुड इंक्लूड फॉरेस्ट्स इसका आंसर है लेक्स मॉन्यूमेंट्स बिल्डिंग्स एंड सिटीज़ A3 है activities based on vocabulary. Look at the words and their meanings. Underline the correct alternatives. इसके आंसर डायरेक्ट अंडरलाइन करके दिए गए हैं. Determine इसका आंसर है decide. Monument इसका आंसर है memorial building. Significant इसका आंसर है important. Disaster इसका आंसर है calamity. A4 activities based on contextual grammar. Rewrite the following sentences using not only but also and as well as in two separate sentences. पहला सेंटेंस है यूनेस्को एंड द इंटरनेशनल काउंसिल ऑन मॉन्यूमेंट्स इनिशिएटेड अ ड्राफ्ट कन्वेंशन टू क्रिएट एन इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर प्रोटेक्टिंग कल्चरल हेरिटेज इसका आंसर है not only UNESCO but also the International Council on Monuments initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. Second है UNESCO as well as the International Council on Monuments initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. A5 Personal response. What are our duties towards preservation of any historical site? यानी किसी तारीख़ी मकाम का तहफ़्फ़ुज़ करने में हमारे फ़राइज़ क्या हैं? इसका जवाब है Historical sites like forts, monuments, palaces, etc., are a natural heritage. They have stood all the vagaries of time and weather and are on the verge of losing their splendor. It is our duty to preserve them carefully. When you visit these places, don't spoil their beauty and grandeur by scratching, writing, and carving names and making them look ugly and dirty. We must renovate them with the help of the residents in the area or NGOs. We should persuade and insist the government to take complete responsibility of preserving them as their foremost duty. Next question here, read the following passage and do the activities. Simple factual activities. Complete the following table. इसके आंसर्स डायरेक्ट दिए गए हैं. यहाँ पर वर्ड्स है, अटरेंसेस है, उसके बाद में लिखा गया किसने कहा और किससे. हु सेड टू होम. Shweta is a very beautiful girl, isn't she? The writer to Meena. When a pony is young, he looks handsome. Meena to the writer. It's a beautiful day, the writer to Meena. No, the sun is too hot. Meena to the writer. I am all excited. It's nice to meet old friends. Meena to the writer. Meena's a good friend of mine. She's an LIC officer earning a good salary, but there was always something strange about her. She was forever unhappy. Whenever I met her, I would start to feel depressed. It was as though her gloom and cynicism had a way of spreading to others. She never had anything positive to say on any subject or about any person. For instance, I might say to her, Meena, did you know Rakesh has come first in his school? Meena's immediate response would be to belittle the achievement. Naturally, his father is a school teacher, she would say. If I said, Meena, Shweta is a very beautiful girl, isn't she? Meena would be pessimistic. When a pony is young, he looks handsome. It is age that matters. Wait for the some time. Shweta will be uglier than anyone you know. Meena, it's a beautiful day. Let's go for a walk. No, the sun is too hot and I get tired if I walk too much. Besides, who says walking is good for health? There is no proof. That was Meena. She stayed alone in an apartment as her parents lived in Delhi. She was an only child and had the habit of complaining about anything and everything. Naturally, she wasn't a very pleasant company and nobody wanted to visit her. Then one day, Meena was transferred to Bombay and soon we all forgot about her. Many years later, I found myself caught in the rain at Bombay's Flora Fountain. It was pouring and I didn't have an umbrella. I was standing near Akbar Ali's, a popular department store, waiting for the rain to subside. Suddenly, I spotted Meena. My first reaction was to run. Even in that pouring rain, I was anxious to avoid being seen by her, having to listen to her never ending complaints. However, I couldn't escape. She had already seen me and caught hold of my hand warmly. What's more, she was very cheerful. Hey, I am really excited. It's nice to meet old friends. What are you doing here? I explained that I was in Bombay on an official work. A2 activity है complex factual activities. Why would Meena be said initially? Give reasons, pick out sentences from the passage which proved that Meena was a pessimist. यानी मीना शुरू से ही गमगीन क्यों रहती थी. यानी इबारत से ऐसे जुमले मुंतखब कीजिए जो साबित करते हो कि मीना खनुती थी, यानी वो गमों की बातें किया करती थी. पहला, शी वॉज फॉर एवर हैप्पी. नेक्स्ट, वेन एवर ऑथर मेट हर शी वुड स्टार्ट टू फील डिप्रेस्ड. हर ग्लूम एंड सिनिसिज्म हैड अ वे ऑफ स्प्रेडिंग टू अदर्स. शी नेवर हैड एनीथिंग पॉजिटिव टू से अबाउट एनीथिंग. A3 activity है activities based on the vocabulary. Find antonyms of the following words from the passage. Antonyms यानी कि opposite words. Optimistic, new, drizzle, ugly. अब इसका आंसर है optimistic, pessimistic, new, old, drizzle, boring, ugly, beautiful. A for activities based on contextual grammar. इसका आंसर है चेंज द फॉलोइंग सेंटेंसेस इनटू इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच, यानी डायरेक्ट से इनडायरेक्ट बनाना है. मीना इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल डे आई सेड. इसका आंसर है आई टोल्ड मीना दैट इट वाज अ ब्यूटीफुल डे. सेकंड है हे आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड. इट्स नाइस टू मीट ओल्ड फ्रेंड्स. व्हाट आर यू डूइंग हियर? मीना सेड टू द राइटर. इसका आंसर है मीना exclaimed with excitement, joy, that it was nice to meet old friends. She further asked the writer what she was doing there. A5 personal response का आंसर क्वेश्चन है would you avoid your friends if you are meeting him her after a long time. अगर आप एक तवील अरसे के बाद अपने दोस्त अपनी सहेली से मिले तो क्या आप इसे टालेंगे? इसका जवाब है वेलकमिंग और अवॉइडिंग आवर ओल्ड फ्रेंड्स टोटली डिपेंड्स अपॉन हाउ क्लोज यू आर विद दैट पर्सन. इफ़ यू आर रियली क्लोज टू सम फ्रेंड बाय हार्ट एंड सोल, you will never avoid him her even if you are meeting him her after a long time, whereas we always wait for such occasions to meet our old buddies. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है A1 एक्टिविटी है कंप्लीट द सेंटेंसेस. ये मार्च 2019 में आ चुका है. कॉम ग्रू अप इन डैश. शी केम फ्रॉम अ डैश. शी हैड एन ईगर इंटरेस्ट इन डैश. मैरी कॉम से करियर स्टार्टेड इन डैश. इसके आंसर्स है पहला है कॉम ग्रू अप इन हम्बल सराउंडिंग्स. टू शी केम फ्रॉम अ पुअर फैमिली. थ्री शी हैड एन ईगर इंटरेस्ट इन एथलेटिक्स. 4. Mary Com's career started in 2000. There had to be one successful story if Indians were to survive in sports, and we have that story now. Enough has been said about this great warrior who conquered the world. This warrior is none other than Mary Mangtecom, the conqueror, and the comrade. She is famed as a 5 times world boxing champion and the only boxer to win a medal in every one of the 6 world championships. In the 2012 Olympics, she became the first Indian woman boxer to qualify and win a bronze medal in the 51 kg flyweight category of boxing. Kaum was born in Kangthai village, Moirang, Lamkhai in Churchandrapur district of rural Manipur in eastern India. She came from a poor family. Her parents, Mangte Tonpa Kaum and Mangte Akham Kaum, were tenant farmers who worked in jhum fields. Kaum grew up in humble surroundings, helping her parents with farm related chores, going to school and learning athletics initially and later boxing. Simultaneously, her father was a keen wrestler in his younger age. She had an eager interest in athletics since childhood, and the success of Dinko Singh, a fellow Manipuri, returned from the 1998 Bangkok Asian Games with a gold medal. Com recollects had inspired many youngsters in Manipur to try boxing, and she too thought of giving it a try. Mary Com's career started in 2000 after her victory in the Manipur State Women's Boxing Championship and the Regional Championship in West Bengal. In 2001, she started competing at international level. She was only 18 years old when she made her international debut at the first AIBA Women's World Boxing Championship in United States, winning a silver medal in 48 kg weight category. Her greatness is reinforced by the way she apologized to the whole nation for not being able to win the gold. She is a legend for sure and an idol for all the sportswomen to look up to. A2 एक्टिविटी है कंप्लीट द फॉलोइंग वेव. ये मार्च 2019 में आया है. इसमें जो अंडरलाइन किए हुए हैं वो आंसर्स है. डिंको सिंह. Dinko Singh was from Manipur, returned from the 1998 Bangkok Asian Games, won a gold medal, had inspired many youngsters in Manipur. A3 activities based on vocabulary. Give one word for the following explanation. यानी वन वर्ड सब्सटीट्यूट देना है. जैल की वजाहत के लिए एक लफ्ज़ दीजिए. यानी माने दिए गए हैं, आपने वर्ड लिखना है. द फर्स्ट पब्लिक अपीयरेंस, डेब्यू, वन हु मेक्स हिस्ट्री, लेजेंड, farming, shifting, cultivation, zoom, सक्सेसफुल एंडिंग ऑफ अ स्ट्रगल और कॉन्टेस्ट, विक्ट्री। A4 एक्टिविटी है डू एज डायरेक्टेड, ये भी मार्च 2019 में आया था। शी केम फ्रॉम अ पुअर फैमिली। रीराइट एज अ नेगेटिव सेंटेंस विदाउट चेंजिंग इट्स मीनिंग, यानी इसे नेगेटिव बनाना है बगैर माना बदले। शी डिडेंट कम फ्रॉम अ रिच फैमिली। सेकेंड है हर फादर वॉज अ कीन रेसलर, रिराइट द सेंटेंस इन सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस, इसको सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस बनाना है। हर फादर इज अ कीन रेसलर। A5 एक्टिविटी है डू यू लाइक गेम्स, वाई, ये भी 2000 मार्च 2019 में आया था। क्या आपको खेल पसंद है और क्यों? इसका आंसर है यस आई लाइक गेम्स बिकॉज इट मेक्स मी एक्टिव एंड एनर्जेटिक, इट बिल्ड्स माई मेंटल एंड फिजिकल पावर, इट डेवलप्स माई कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, ओवरऑल इट डेवलप्स माई पर्सनालिटी, सो आई प्ले डिफरेंट गेम्स। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है read the extract and do the activities, simple factual activities, complete the following web, यानी वेब डायग्राम कंप्लीट करना है। इसके आंसर्स डायरेक्ट दिए गए हैं, सिर्फ इसमें रोल ऑफ नेचर लिख कर आएगा, बाकी सारे आंसर्स है। रोल ऑफ नेचर soothes and nurtures, relaxes and enhances, are spread, whispers and commands, fulfills and motivates. We instinctively turn to outdoor activities and nature as a way of relaxing and enhancing our well being. Nature soothes and nurtures, nature fulfills and motivates, nature whispers and commands. Are you listening? When I do, it leaves me in complete awe. We have a hibiscus plant in our garden. Every fortnight, a flower blooms on it, big, bright, and tender. Through the day it smiles with the sun and dances with the wind, but as evening approaches, it starts wilting. The morning after it withers completely, and by evening it falls and becomes one with the earth again. The flower comes to life only for a day, yet it does so in full splendor. What if we too lived our life, however short, to its fullest? We went to a rocky beach and saw the spread of the majestic ocean and the rocks alongside carved, sculpted, and shaped by the water. Water is so gentle, rock so hard, yet as the water flows over it every day, for years the rock gives in, it takes the shape that the water commands. Our problems are so colossal and we are so small, yet if we persist. A2 activity है complex factual activities based on the passage, complete the web that highlights the various features of flower of hibiscus plant, यानी इबारत के हवाले से गुल खैरू का फूल यानी जासुंदी के फूल के मुख्तलिफ खसूसियात पर रोशनी डालने वाला वेब खाका मुकम्मल कीजिए। इसका आंसर है फीचर्स ऑफ फ्लावर ऑफ हिबिस्कस प्लांट, इट स्टार्ट्स विल्टिंग इन द इवनिंग एंड देयर आफ्टर बिकम्स वन विद द अर्थ। Flower blooms every fortnight. It lives in full splendor only for one day. Through the day, it smiles with the sun and dances with the wind. A3 activities है activities based on the vocabulary. Find synonyms from the text for the following words and phrases. यानी वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूट या फिर आपने वर्ड्स का मीनिंग देना है। A strong feeling of fear or respect, of, to direct authoritatively, command, large and impressively beautiful, majestic. A for है activities based on contextual grammar, frame WH questions to get the underlined parts as answers. The flower comes to life, इसका आंसर है only for a day. How long does the flower comes to life? यानी अंडरलाइन जो वर्ड है ओनली फॉर अ डे, इसके लिए क्वेश्चन बनाना था। हाउ लॉन्ग डज द फ्लावर कम टू लाइफ। सेकेंड है वी सॉ द स्प्रेड ऑफ द मैजेस्टिक ओशन, द स्प्रेड आंसर में आना चाहिए, तो हमने व्हाट डिड वी सी ऑफ द मैजेस्टिक ओशन, इस तरीके से आंसर होगा। नेक्स्ट है यूज़ नॉट ओनली बट आल्सो, आउटडोर एक्टिविटीज़ एनहेंस एंड रिलैक्स आवर वेल बीइंग, इसका आंसर है आउटडोर एक्टिविटीज़ नॉट ओनली एनहेंस बट आल्सो रिलैक्स आवर वेल बीइंग। A5 पर्सनल रेस्पॉन्स की एक्टिविटीज़ है एक्सप्लेन द लाइन नेचर विस्पर्स एंड कमांड्स, यानी विस्पर्स एंड कमांड्स का मतलब बताना है। इसका आंसर है नेचर इज़ कंटिन्यूअली enticing us to spend time in her embrace through the calling of birds, the babbling of books and brooks and streams, the fragrance of flowers and the whispers of trees as the wind blows through their branches. It commands us not to go against it, otherwise it will curse us. उम्मीद है आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। अगले वीडियो में दोबारा मुलाकात होगी। खुदा हाफिज़।